Hello, this is Churan's Tiny Homestead, and I'm Evelyn Churan. I realize my hair looks like crap, I just noticed. Whatever, anyways, I've been working in the garden. The gardens. Okay, so I tried to build gardens with logs and the dirt in between to make raised gardens. However, I'm losing all of my soil. So, unfortunately, where I come from in the Sudbury district region, a lot of properties that have been cleared, they took off all the topsoil, and then you're left with clay. So every season that goes by, it just keeps washing up my my gardening soil, and I have to bring in all of my soil, manure, stuff like that to build my own gardens. You can't just dig in the ground and start growing here for the simple fact that it's clay and bedrock. So I started buying the barrels, the big 1,000 gallon barrels, and I'm cutting them open and doing my own gardens that way. And they'll last forever. They won't rot. The plastic won't break down, which is I'm recycling it rather than going into landfills. And I've been working outside all day today, and I've got a few things on the outside on the build. I've added new shutters. I'm putting up some new siding this year to finish off the additions. I got bottle jacks in. I'm putting in a deck in the front, and the sauna comes in June or July. Unfortunately, I still haven't bought cameras or a camera to videotape what's going on around the property to upload on YouTube. Sorry, my allergies. This time of the year, I get a lot of allergies. So that's kind of what I'm doing, and that's what's new with the build. And then I'm putting rain gutters on the outside of everything, and I'm going to do a water catchment system for the gardening until I can dig my well. The well is probably going to be by next year. The place is bought and paid for now by June 6th, but I still have to continue with the build. So I still have to put a well in, but for now I have cisterns, and I get city water brought in right now. And with the water catchment system, I won't be using my potable water anymore to do my gardening. So that's the next part of the build that I'm getting done, and that's about it for this year, because it's very, very expensive. Every time you add something, your bills are $10,000 at a time. So it's not like it's not like it's a $50 build. Everything you build is like, just running the hydro was $21,000 cash, and there's no payment plan for that. And the same thing goes with digging a well. Nobody will give a payment plan for it. You have to pay it upfront, or 50% down and 50% when the job is done. So to do the well is $20,000, because I got to go 350 feet. There is no water table here. I appreciate the suggestions, but there's no water table here. It's clay and bedrock. And I don't want surface water, because then it's not potable water. With a well, it'll actually be artisan water, and that's what we have here. And there's little streams that run underground here, which is 99.99% pure water. So you don't have all kinds of chemicals in it like city water does, and no chlorine in it. So it's hard water, but I'm fine with that. It's healthier water, and my dog will like it too once it's done. And then I'm going to build a basement, and that's going to be like a cold storage where all the fridges and freezers are going to go, and the plumbing. It won't be heated. It's the only electricity that's going to be there is to plug in all the fridges and freezers, cold storage and water storage and plumbing. And then I will build up, and that'll be the second part of this house. Then the opposite side of the property, there's going to be another tiny house built, probably a little bit bigger than this, but nothing on wheels. I want permanent dwellings. And then that side on the left side of the property, if you're facing the entrance, that's all going to be gardening. And then the far right of the property, is going to be all fruit trees, raspberry bushes, things like that. And the rest is going to be food forest. And then I'm getting 14-foot cedar posts delivered from Owen Sound, and I'm ordering 100 of them. And I just bought a post digger, and I'm putting up a fence around the whole property. So it's a work in progress. There's still a lot of work to do, but I'm okay with that. I'm getting it done. It's become a hobby. It keeps me busy. No time for drama. I do not allow people to come here unless they're invited or contact me first. I helped out a couple of kids for about 6 weeks, and I'm still cleaning up their garbage. So I don't want all kinds of people on my property. It's invitational only. You contact me first. There's no alcohol, no drugs are allowed on my property. I won't allow it. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the King of England. You're not bringing alcohol to my property. And no drugs are allowed here either. So that's it's a sober living place. I don't drink. I don't take drugs. I don't want any of that stuff around me. I don't want people around it that do it. I don't want to tolerate it. I'm not a babysitter. So that's the other thing. These are rules that I have to put in place because I noticed with having these, I had a couple of kids living here for about 6 weeks, and it left a bad taste in my mouth, and they left all kinds of broken glass and garbage and total disrespect for my property. And I put in the elbow grease and the blood, sweat, and tears for this. So, I mean, I do have a sleep cabin, but it's not like I'm not putting electricity in it. One person's telling me, well, I like fans when I sleep. I want a cold fan running. Well, no, you're not. This is my property and you're not paying the bill. So I'm not putting all kinds of fans into my sleep cabins or stuff like that. It's not going to happen. There are 2 beds for 2 single people, or a couple, whatever, 2 kids, a table, 2 chairs, and a camping toilet. That's all they have. That's all they're going to have. I'm not running electricity to any of the cabins. There's lights inside the cabins, but it is solar lighting. I'm keeping my hydro down at $60 a month with delivery charges, and it's going to stay that way. I pay the bills here, and I'm keeping the bills down. What I did manage to do is, now that it's going to be paid off, my cost on a monthly basis, not including the build, just to run the property, overhead cost comes out to $1,100. That's the bare essentials. That's my hydro, my heat, my water, etc. Once I have my well, that'll again drop down. My heating cost, if I was to heat the place 365 days out of the year, which I don't, it comes out to $88 a month for hydro and heat. So I don't think you're going to get that cost anywhere else. The rest of the bills is taxes and insurance. So it just goes to show you, like, I ran hydro and my taxes went up $700 a year from $1,000 a year. So I wasn't too impressed to see that, but you paid $21,000 to pay hydro, and then the taxation company or property taxes jack up your bill. Every addition that you can put whatever you want, but your taxes are going to keep going up whether you like it or not. So that's just the way things are in Canada. You can have a property that you own outright, you're always going to pay taxes. So even if I was a multimillionaire and I bought a $3 million home, well, even though the house is paid off, what's the overhead? Your overhead would be $500,000 a year. Why would you want to own something that your property taxes are $10,000, $15,000 a year, and then your hydro and your heat ends up costing you, $5,000 a month for a great big mansion? Like, the overhead in those houses have just got to be extravagant. And I prefer to stay down at $1,100 a month for my overhead cost to live than to pay even rent. Rent is $3,500 a month. I'm paying less than half of that to own my own property. So I believe that I made the right decisions doing this. I'd rather be closer to my family, but the overhead cost and the cost of real estate and houses, with houses right next to each other where your neighbors are sitting on top of your backyard. I don't want to live that way. I don't want to be in a concrete jungle. I like being in a farming community. Have a nice day, Churan's Tiny Homestead. Bye.